Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Natta with you as we wrap up another weekend here during the championship meet, and I hope we wrap up Mother Nature's what she's got going on here in South Florida. As you can see, we have a muddy main track to start the day. Of course, we're off the turf with this crazy weather we've had down here, but I think, knock on wood now, I think it's behind us, and you've heard me say all weekend that Mother Nature is undefeated, and that showed yesterday with the crazy weather forcing the cancellation of the last three races. Thank you to everybody who was involved throughout the day, and certainly we did our best to run that card. We're going to bring back the Allen Jerkins, to be determined when, but that stakes that we had to cancel yesterday, we will bring that back at some point in the very near future. Of course, we've got 10 of them for you today. That main track looks pretty darn good, and I've said it time and time again. Kenny and the crew do such a good job. This is sunshine behind me, by the way, if you're not familiar with that here in South Florida, because we haven't seen it in quite some time. So, we'll see what happens with the main track, but it looked pretty good out there, and we'll go from there. We'll start out as muddy, though. Rainbow 6 now. We're just back to basics here. 225 in the gross jackpot guarantee, as we couldn't get through that sequence yesterday. That will kick off in race 5, as we've got the 10-race card today off the turf in the opener, and kicks off the early pick 5. Again, the early pick 5s, especially on the weekend, have gotten huge pools, upwards of $500,000. The first race, unfortunately, off the turf. We'll take a quick look at my ticket now. A lot of bobbing and weaving on the card today. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but it is what it is. We'll go too deep here in the opener, and I'll get to it in a second. Race 2, I lost both my best bet in my long shot on today's card. That is unfortunate. So in race number 2, I scratch into the Arundel Homebred Firster, Magma. In race number 3, 3 deep with the 3 Flirtini on a speed mission there with Amicia. In race number 4, the single, very logical, in Tashima for Safi and Irad. And then there's the spread in this sequence for me. Race number 5, off the turf at a mile and 70, excuse me, and I'll go to the 2 Cuban Thunder. I think is a very, very interesting newcomer for Jorge Delgado. That is a $36 ticket. We'll get back to the opener here. Unfortunately, the scratch bug hits here off the turf at a mile and a 16th in this maiden $35,000 claimer here for the 2-year-olds. We scratch the 1, the 4, the 6, and the 7. And, of course, Pete Aiello will be upstairs when I'm all done to run you through all the scratches and changes. Anthony Thomas will ride the 3, Mohey Please. And it's just now 5-8 for me. I scratch into the 5, Noble Wave. We are unproven on Tapeta, but the entire field is, because no one has run on Tapeta. There are 2 first-time starters. There are 2 with experience. Noble Wave has got the majority of it with 5 lifetime starts. It's George Weaver just starting to get going here. George's going to win a lot of races at a pretty high percentage clip here during the championship meet. And who's riding Noble Wave? Irad Ortiz Jr. This is a maiden special weight dropper, down from Laurel, down from New Jersey, in for 35 today. And I think this Son of Noble Mission, I think he gets helped twofold. Certainly the scratches are going to help him. I think the fact that it's a shorter field now, because he does not have a lot of early speed, I think it's going to allow Irad to keep him in the game early, and that's probably all it's going to take. Christophe Clement and Mike Dubb team up with a firster with the 8, Boy with a Dream, a homebred for Mike, actually, and Michael Caruso, too, I should mention. The dam was okay. She was 3 for 8. Did take her 4 starts to break her maiden. It is her first full. It's good to see Tyler Gaffalione land here. He's over 20% with Christoph down here at Gulfstream Park. You got a slew of works on display. I like being outside in a 4-horse field. Not easy to win your debut at 2 turns, but there's also not a lot going on here in a very, very tight, compact field. Early pick 4 kicks off in race number 2, $35,000 maiden claimer. We go 5 on the Tapeta. We'll take a look. I've got the ticket again. We're going to run it right back here. Take a quick look at it here because Samantha's got the Tropical Turf pick 3 a little bit later on. 36 again for me. It's a run back of the early pick 5. I don't think either of these sequences are all that easy. So, there are a couple spread races. When you have smaller fields, things can get a little funky as well. This big scratch here is super crunchy, but the good news is he's actually entered next week, so we will see him. He's not scratched because of anything other than Trombo wants to run him next week. He was my best bet. Unfortunately, that's out, and that's why I've got to go a little deeper in this race. I already mentioned the Arundel Firster, the 4 Magma, and I'm going to put him on top because, quite honestly, the proven runners in here, especially with my top pick and best bet out, I don't see a lot I can trust in here. I do want to mention that Jorge Ruiz is going to ride the 3 East Boston Benny. But back to the Arundel Firster, a son of brethren, Large Marge, the dial-in mare, never ran. It's her second foal. The other one was not much. In for 35. But, Brian and Arundel, they spot their horses where they belong. And it's not like they're trying to put anything over here. They're also not giving this horse away. We know how good Arundel has done, Juan Alvarado included, with the brethrens. And I would think this horse, if he can run a little bit, and he's got a nice snappy Tapeta drill on December 3rd. I think if this horse can run a little bit, he can make a big dent in here. It's good to see Edgar Zayas land here on the Firster as well. Juan Alvarado, 22% first-time starters. Certainly they're going to bet Zano. It's Irad, it's Rohan Crichton, it's Rohan off the claim, it's Irad and Rohan, and they're almost up to 50% again together. Ridiculous. And the sample size is over 40 horses. So when you're at almost 50% with a 40-horse sample size, anytime Irad is aboard for Rohan Crichton, it's go time, okay? And Zano ran okay on the Tapeta last time. He beat Adios Now, who's also in here. That's the 8 horse. And let's show the replay, actually, guys. Thank you. Good work, Ben and the guys. Adios Now is on the point here. Zano's down towards the inside. I didn't think really, you want to tell me Zano's idling a little bit there? Okay, I guess he is. It was a little bit of a rough beginning. He also lost by 4 3/4 lengths, okay? So I thought he was quite flow-aided until the trouble. He's down inside. Maybe I did not have the rail being a problem that day, as we typically sometimes can see. I don't really think he was all that enamored coming through either. Would he have been closer if he didn't have the trouble inside on the turn? He would have, absolutely. Was he going to threaten the winner? Absolutely not. And now again, you hear me say it time and time again, especially with the scratch, you're going to look up at the tote board. Zano's going to be 7 or 8 to 5, and that to me is a big underlaid price. Adios Now didn't run poorly in that race, doling it all out on the engine there. 3rd career start for Kathleen O'Connell. You've got something to work with here as well. And I will mention Vinsanity. I thought Vinsanity ran very well. Vinsanity's got the race to beat. Now he's probably not going to be favored because of the Irad Rohan thing. The last race Vinsanity just ran, nobody in this field is going to beat him if he can run back to it and or if they don't improve. And you're going to get a better price than you should because you've got, Nestor Canaleros, not a guy that a lot of people know. Edwin Gonzalez, as good a jockey as we have here. He's a champion jockey. He knows what he's doing. So you get a very, very good price on a horse that fits very snugly with that group. Race number 3, we're back on the Tapeta at 5.5 here. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The tag is 25. It's a 2L. It's a clean race. It always was on the Tapeta. We're going to start with the 3 Flirtini. Jaramillo aboard. Look through this 7-pack that we've got here, and you see 6 other horses that don't have speed or they want to stalk the speed. And you see Flirtini that knows one way to go with as good a gate rider as we have in here in Amicio Jaramillo. Flirtini, to me, is loose and controlling. We've talked about it time and time again when it rains, and you saw all the rain we got here yesterday. I don't think it's going to rain today. That Tapeta tightens up. Speed plays. We're only going 5.5 here. Flirtini on a drop behind Chaina and Sadie Bear. Chaina and Sadie Bear would be 3 to 5 in this group, 4 to 5 against this group. This is a big drop, even though it's only 35 to 25. This is a big drop for Flirtini. I think he's got a big chance in here to wire this field. Fast Kimmy, Phil Serpy. This horse had a nightmare trip last time, 9 to 5 on the morning line. Phil, if you're not familiar with Phil, does a good job. Long-time conditioner up in New York. One of the good guys, reaches for Irad. So there's a lot of intent here. Draw a line right through the last race. A nightmare trip going 9 on the turf up in New York. Look at the big figures on the turf at Saratoga, at Belmont, at Gulfstream Park. Also has a win on the Tapeta as well. This horse is going to be a problem now if we can get a clean trip. But again, you've got Irad here, and that's a little problem betting-wise. The Lady Azteca is in the loop here off a big drop from 50. Drop it in half with Sayas. Take a look at Talkin' Wonders, who was entered last week, scratched out, is going to run here. That's the 2 horse today. Was in for 16 last Thursday. and it's going to pop here for 25. So I think that's a positive. Going to come down from Woodbine with the maiden claiming win. We got that replay for Talking Wonders. We're going to show it to you here. Thank you, guys. He's the 8. She's the 8, excuse me. And to her credit, she does gut it out. She's going to win this race by a head. But we've talked about this now. This is our 3rd year here at Gulfstream Park with Tapeta. This is a good stretch run. You've got to give her credit for that. The worry here is the difference of circumferences and layouts between Woodbine and Gulfstream Park. This is a much snappier and tighter 5.5 here as opposed to what you're going to see up at Woodbine. And we've seen it time and time again throughout the past 3 years. The Woodbine horses, more often than not, and I stress the more part, they need a race before getting acclimated to our Tapeta and the layout out there to the right of me. So tread a little lightly. We're going to see a lot of them coming down from Woodbine. I saw Billy Therinos walking around the other day. Marty Drexler will be here soon. High percentage sharp guys down from Woodbine. You can see other horses. Josie Carroll pop in the entry box as well. Tread a little lightly with the Woodbine horses, at least first time around. Let's get to race number 4 now. Back on the Tapeta at 5 furlongs. 12-5 maiden claimers in here. We do scratch out the 9, Rita Marley, a horse that was going to take some money in here. This fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. I will go Tashima. It's Safi. It's Irad. It's 6-5 on the morning line. The last race that she ran is just, it's better than anything any of these gals have done. And, you know, Safi's got Irad riding here and no one else in here. It's very tough to find anybody else to bet in here because she kind of lays over the field and you get world-class connections. The one horse I do want to mention, I had initially had her in my rainbow, but I had to swap her out with some of the scratches and the way I had to move my ticket around a little bit. Queen Valentina is interesting to me. We've got a little jockey swap here now. Edgar Perez is going to ride the 5. Jesus Rios is going to ride the 8, okay? In Queen Valentina, Carlos Perez is a sharp guy. He's going to add Lasix. We have not seen Queen Valentina since her debut on September 9th of 2022. Obviously, something went wrong that day or soon thereafter. She broke 9th in a field of 9. She was 7-2. Very, very key race. The winner was good. The runner-up comes back to win. Edgar Perez, for him to be 7-2 on debut, says this horse could run a little bit. Now, things have gone awry since. She's in for 35. Look at the Tapeta work on November 10th. Very sharp, 35 flat. I know there was only 2 works that day. That would have been a bullet if there were 100 works that day, okay? 35 flat is flying. She comes back at the bottom. I get it. This is a tote board race. Check the tote on her. If she is live and taking money into the teeth of a horse that will probably be odds on, you might be able to use her. If you've got a budget, if you're spreading in your early pick 5 and early pick 4, and you want to try to blow things up a little bit and try to beat a very heavy favorite, you could do worse than Queen Valentina, who could be live here off this elongated break. Okay, 4 down here on Gulfstream today. When we come back, 6 to go. It's Rainbow 6 time. 2 1/4 in the gross jackpot guarantee.
They're off in the Curlin, Florida Derby. White Aborio almost home.
And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby.
Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide
What a sport! What a horse!
to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you on a finally, I think the weather's broken a little bit here in South Florida. We are off the turf today. The main track starts as muddy. Tapeta, of course, in play as well. And the Rainbow is in play here in race number 5. And we've got $225,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. A big, big pool looming here on a Sunday fun day. We'll take a look at my ticket. A lot of reworking to do here. And we go 4 deep here in race number 5. In race number 6, the top pick is the 3, Change of Command. In race number 7, the top pick is the 7. That is off the turf in there. My Lady James, and she's been really, really good on the Tapeta of late. So take note of that. Race number 8, I lost my long shot, unfortunately, today. Let's go and scratch into the 8 on Command, the Rusty Arnold firster. In race number 9, the single is St. Pat's Day, who's been absolutely streaking of late for Laura Cesares. And then in the finale, we are off the turf in the finale, but the picks for me stayed the same. Number 5, Lady Emily Catherine for Safi Joseph and Ken Ramsey, the homebred, on the playbook 4320. This is also the kickoff of the $3 Tropical Turf Pick 3. And don't forget, even though we are unfortunately off the turf today, the bet still goes, and it is a good one. $3 base wager, just 15% takeout on that. And here's Samantha's updated ticket. Of course, she'll single here and then a 3x2 double to get out of the sequence. It's $18 for her, and we'll get back to this race now. And we are off the turf, so what we do is we revert to 1 mile and 70 on the Tapeta. The 6 Brawn is out of this race, and it brings us with a field of 8. We will start with the 2 Cuban Thunder. All my picks were the same, so nothing changed for me. I think Cuban Thunder is a dangerous and a very interesting newcomer. It's Jorge Delgado. This horse ran in the Breeders' Cup coming over from across the pond for Adrian Murray. Ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Was a total no-show at 63-1. But this horse not only has turf form, but has all-weather form as well. Luis Saez is going to get aboard. Very, very sharp barn with newcomers, 24%. AMO Racing does a very, very good job, and Jorge Delgado has teamed up with them to win some serious races. I would think Cuban Thunder is ready to roll today, although maybe sometimes, I will say this, it's worth mentioning, a lot of times horses that run in the Breeders' Cup, regardless of where they finish, they can struggle a little bit coming first start back, but Cuban Thunder is going to take plenty of action in here. Zio Lorenzo, the 7, is interesting now, stretching out for Eddie Plisa Jr., wired on debut, beat 7 rivals, ran fast early. I would think he's going to be on the point here on the stretch out. Greenpoint Crusader on the top of this pedigree, Kitten's Joy on the bottom of this pedigree. That is 2 turns through and through. They bet this horse to 2-1 on debut, and I don't think Eddie Plisa Jr. is too perturbed that we are off the turf today. Probably a send mission. We've seen speed. It's happened a couple times in the past that horses, and I say in the past, over the weekend. Friday, Joe Bravo took the initiative on a nice horse for Ian Wilkes and just wired the field after essentially running the field off their feet early at a route of ground, and we saw it again yesterday. That might be the path to victory for Zio Lorenzo. I want to go to the 9 Banneker, guys, if we can show that workout. Samantha pulled this up, and Banneker's been rolling pretty good, and he is on the inside, Idle Chatter on the outside. This is a turf work, but the good thing with Banneker is those 2 races at Presque Isle Downs were on the Tapeta, and he ran very, very well on debut to win on the Tapeta. Jack Sisterson going to take blinkers off today. You can just see him under a really nice snug hold. This is a son of Not This Time out of a Street Boss mare, so certainly 2 turns is well within this pedigree. And look at this guy rolling here. Very, very comfortable, not really being asked to do much of anything. I think the switch to Tapeta today as well, I think makes Banneker, interesting. Good sign to see Tyler Gaffalione get aboard as well. Salvatore Prince looked good last time, getting up, pressing and then running off for a maiden special weight win. It's Jose D'Angelo. It's Irad Ortiz Jr. Again, these are turf odds. things are going to swap quite a bit on the Tapeta, especially with Jose and Irad teaming up. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 6. We are 7 furlongs on a main track that starts the day as muddy, and we'll see what's going to happen here. Still, the wind, very high gear here in South Florida. I don't, knock on wood, I don't anticipate any rain, and the crew around here does such a good job. Maybe we can get a little upgrade by 2:34 in the p.m. We'll take a look at Samantha's late pick 5 ticket here. Key scratches the 7 and 8 in this race. She's going to single the 3, change of command. Her deep spread is in race number 7, and then a 3 by 2 by 3. Pick 3 to get out of the sequence, and we'll get back to this race as well. I've got change of command, the 3 on top for Shug. Don Adam of Cortland Farm. Jose Ortiz is here too. We're going to show you the replay of the last race at Aqueduct, and it was a pretty good effort. He is down on the inside. Sierra Leone is going to win this race. Sierra Leone came back and won and then lost to Remsen. He absolutely made a devastating late move from the back of the pack and was going to win for fun, and then Dornock, the full, I believe, to Mage, our Kentucky Derby winner, came back on him and won that Remsen. But Sierra Leone is a very, very top prospect for Chad Brown. So the fact that change of command ran second to him and tried to gut it out on the lead, I think was a very, very good effort. I also like the fact that he was running a 1-turn mile that day, and now he cuts back to 7 furlongs. And I think that's going to be key for him as well. I would expect Jose Ortiz to put him on the lead and just try to wave goodbye to this horse. The field, the 2, Rapture Boy, coming for Jorge Delgado, ran here at a flat 1-turn mile in November. Was an okay third. He picks up Irad today. That's fine and dandy, but he's going to have to pick up his game a little bit. The scratches hurt any price you were ever going to get on Rapture Boy with the 7 and the 8 out of this race. He's a player, but I think change of command now really comes front and center. He's a beaut for Bobby DeBona, ran well on debut. Cardinal was a Todd Pletcher first-time starter. He's a beaut, took a lot of money into the teeth of him. They paid $80 for him. He's eligible to improve, and he did well to draw outside of change of command. He's going to have to hustle today, though. He's going to have to run better. Late pick 4 time kicks off in race number 7. We are, unfortunately, off the turf. That will revert to 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Scratch the 1 Ivory Moon out of this spot. Will bring us to a field of 10. Just a Care was going to be heck to pay on the turf and probably still goes favored on the Tapeta. But I think the 7, My Lady James, really comes into focus here. She has dominated in 2 straight Tapeta starts for Carlos David. This is a rising class, but the benefit for her here is that she's catching a group of fillies and mares, several of which are now playing her game. You've got Alla Brave, the 5, certainly Just a Care. They are unproven on Tapeta, and I think we know we have no worries about it whatsoever with My Lady James, and I think that's going to help level the playing field. I'm not going to tell you she's as talented as Just a Care. Looks like Rusty Arnold's got a really nice filly on his hand. She's going to run second time off the long layoff, but My Lady James gets her on her home court here, gets her on the Tapeta. I think that is a very, very important note. Miss Sakamoto is going to get bet for my racehorse. She's run okay on the Tapeta. She's also going to be an underlay. She's also 1 for 13 with 10 underneath finishes. So just tread a little lightly with her. Doesn't seem like she's a big fan of getting her picture taken. Late pick 3 kicks off in race 8 on this 10-race Sunday card. We're back to the main track. 6 furlongs in a maiden special weight for the 2-year-old fillies. Lost my long shot in here. The 4 Paradise Lane is scratched out. The 6 Sun Azteca is out as well. So I double scratch into the 8 on command, and that is a firster for Rusty Arnold. You know, Rusty has kind of a reputation of a guy that's not really going to win first out. I kind of think it's a little inaccurate. He's upped the ante a little bit in the past few years. He's 7%. Listen, it's not the MO of the barn, but with the right horse, I think Rusty has no problem winning with first-time starters. This is a daughter of Omaha Beach. They paid $130 for. The dam was 0 for 2. It's her 3rd full. Couple, they were okay. None of them won on debut. The works here, though, coming down from Keeneland, are pretty solid, and I do think it's significant. Jose Ortiz is listed to ride here. So Rusty reaches out for a top jockey, and the 3 of the last 4 works have been really, really sharp. I like this post, too, because we're outside, but we're not all the way outside, and that can kind of keep her tightened up a little bit. at the start. I think On Command's in a good spot here, especially with the scratches. Hey, you go against Ralph Nix now at your own peril here during the championship. Ralph is up to 4 for 5 at the championship meet, and he's got a Whisper Hill homebred, the 3 Tappet Starlet with Irad here, a daughter of Tappet. The dam was only 1 for 7, but she did win her debut. 4th foal. The other 3 were okay. The other 2 that ran, they were okay. One of them did win on debut. There's a slew of works here. Honestly, nothing stands out. Ralph's not necessarily going to fry him in the morning, but nothing here, at least on the page, says she's a real runner. Irad's name, though, and like I said, Ralph, everything he's sent out, not only are they winning, they're running off the screen. He's got 2 real talented 3-year-old fillies in the barn. Great to see for Ralph. The 7 Urgents, a firster for Brendan Walsh. 3 for 18 Dam, 1 in her 3rd start, 3rd foal. One of them did win on debut. They were okay. Tyler's here. Tyler rides a lot for Brendan, so that's a good sign as well. Tote board kind of race, too. Race number 9 kicks off the late double. We are and always were on the Tapeta at 5.5 furlongs. Starter optional claimer. Hey Paula's not going to look for her 4th straight. She is out. The 7 Magna Massa is out as well. St. Pat's Day 7 to 5 on the morning line. Probably going to be lower than that now with the scratches, and it's just right in front of you. She has been phenomenal in her last 2 Tapeta starts for Laura Cesares. The horse she's beaten, Bahamian Moon, is a stablemate. She came right back to win last week. In those 2 races at this kind of level, I should say, are just better than this field, and they're going to beat this field. Edgar Zayas has paired with her and done really good things. She won on the turf at Colonial 3-back. She is looking for her 4th in a row. I want to give some publicity to the 6 Shasta Star. She's never tried Tapeta here. She does have 2 all-weather wins. She is such a cool 8-year-old daughter of Reddy's Image. Bobby Claceris up north, Steve Claceris down here at Gulfstream Park. She went on a tear where she had won 7 races in a row. She's lost her last 2, all on turf up at our sister tracks. So one of them was snuck in at Colonial as well. She is a really cool horse. She wants to win races. She is 15 for 40 lifetime. She is 6 for 10 this year. Her 2 losses of late, both second-place finishes in which she's run very, very well. She's an easy horse to root for. And who does Steve get aboard today? Irad Ortiz Jr. So she's going to fire a big shot. Can she beat St. Pat's Day on her home track at her game? It remains to be seen. Shasta Star, such a cool horse. Happy to see her down here and behind us in the walking ring a little bit later on. The finale, race number 10, ends all the horizontals, including the Tropical Turf Pick 3, even though we are off the turf. The beauty of the Tapeta, though, the entire field stays together. We do scratch out the 13, Maman June, who I hope we'll see soon for Jorge Delgado, and another exciting newcomer for AML Racing. My picks all stayed the same here, though. I've got the 5 Lady Emily Catherine on top. It's Safi, it's Ken Ramsey, a homebred. It's Edgar Zayas as well. Just missed, necked out on the turf at Keeneland. 3rd beating a neck in a really, really strong race. I think she's a major player. Both Doros down on the inside for Brittany Vandenberg. First time in the barn. Look at the works of late here on the main track, but my goodness, they have been flying. 47-3, 59-2, taking over from Mark Cassie. It looks like Brittany's got this horse rolling pretty good. 0 for 11. 7 underneath finishes. I do want to show the replay that Samantha pulled up of I'm a Sure Thing in Madicat's Arrow. They went at it on the turf at Aqueduct. We are on the Tapeta today, but we want to show this because Madicat's Arrow has run on the Tapeta for that matter too. But here they are on the outside. Madicat's Arrow at a ginormous number, 77-1 for George Weaver. She's going to end up running 6th in here. I'm a Sure Thing is going to run 3rd. This is a pretty good group in here. You can see the winners are well clear. But I'm a Sure Thing ran on nicely late. And I think she's a player in here for Christoph and Tyler. And everybody left them in for the Tapeta, so it says to me they have no worries about them handling the surface as well. 10 of them for you here at Gulfstream Park on a Sunday, fun day. The Rainbow's 2 1/4. No real lightning round to speak of because I lost my best bet in long shot. Just want to do a little bookkeeping as well. Of course, the Tropical Turf Pick 3 still goes today. That kicks off in race 5. Real $3 base bet, 15% low takeout. That's the beauty of it. And I mentioned, thank you guys for putting that up. Appreciate it. There it is there. Kicks off in race 5 today, 5, 7, and 10 today. I mentioned, unfortunately, we canceled the last 3 races yesterday. We will bring back the Allen Jerkins, to be determined when, but it will be in with the next racing week or several few racing days as we figure out when to bring that back. We've already drawn next Saturday's card. If you haven't seen it, it is phenomenal. 4 stakes all told. The Tropical Park Derby and Oaks for the 3-year-old on turf, and 2 graded stakes for the sprinters on the main track, including the Mr. Prospector, 2 grade 3s. Really, really powerhouse card next Saturday, 11 races. The PPs are already out there. Get scuffing them up because it's going to be a fun day here as we kind of kick off a little bit of a holiday stretch at Gulfstream Park. But that's it for Gulfstream today. I'll be back with you for the opener shortly. Pete Aiello is upstairs with the scratches and the changes. Happy to have you aboard.